And in this episode, I ball up some dough. I prove that water does boil if you stare at it. And I grab a handful of buns. Pretzel buns, that is, because that's what we're making. Welcome to More Approved. I'm James, and today I'm showing you how to make some delicious pretzel buns. Let's go ahead and get started. For this, you are going to need 1 teaspoon of instant rise yeast, 1.5 teaspoons of granulated sugar, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 cups of warm water, not hot, 1 pound 12 ounces of bread flour. I like to use King Arthur. It gives me the best consistency for all of my baking needs. And last but not least, you're going to want 1 3/4 teaspoons of salt. We're going to put that in the mixer, and we are going to mix that for 10 to 12 minutes. Our dough is ready. It's time to go ahead and start dividing it up. And what we're going to need is about 4 ounces apiece. All right, 4 1/4, that's good enough for me. So you're going to get about 11 of these out of here. Your last one may not quite be 4 ounces, or it may be a little bit over 4 ounces. If it is, no big deal. And you want it to be pretty even. So if you notice that there's a lot more dough on this portion than over here, just sort of work it around so it's all about the same. Now the final thing you're going to want to do is just coat it with a little bit of oil. Now that we have these all oiled up, we're going to go ahead and cover it with some plastic wrap. I'm going to set it in a warm location. We're going to check on them in about 30 minutes, and then we're going to dunk them into some boiling water that has some baking soda in it. Our pretzel buns have risen quite nicely, and here I have a pan with 6 cups of boiling water in it. I am going to slowly add in 4 tablespoons of baking soda. If you put it in too quickly, or while this is bubbling like that, you will regret it. So I suggest you turn off the heat when putting this in. We're going to put in 1, real slow. And here's the second one. So go ahead and float that in there, and it's going to be 30 seconds for each side. So after 30 seconds, we're going to flip it over, and then we're going to repeat that, and we're going to set them on our racks to drain off, put it back on this pan, and get ready to put them in the oven. Before you put it in the oven, you're going to want to make some relief cuts on this. So as it's rising up, it doesn't split and break apart and look ugly. You can either do a cross right down the center, just barely underneath the surface, or you could do 2 parallel slits, which actually I like to do. You're going to want a very sharp knife for this, and you're going to want to go just underneath the surface. So all you want to do is crack your egg, put it into the bowl, and add in a couple of ounces of water, and whisk that up. After 4 minutes, go ahead and pull out your pretzel buns and brush on the egg wash. Reset the timer for 6 minutes. At the end of 6 minutes, just turn your pan around, reset it for 10 minutes, and voila, you should be done. My pretzel buns are done and out of the oven. They look absolutely fantastic. These are perfect for sandwiches just by themselves. Whatever you want to do with them, you can feel free to do so. Go ahead and cut into one. Look at the inside consistency of that. That is absolutely beautiful. And that's all I can tell you about making pretzel buns. Again, remember, in the oven, after 4 minutes, you're going to want to put those out, put your egg wash on the top of it, put it back in for another 6 minutes. When the timer goes off, turn the pan around and then put it on for another 10 minutes. They should be nice and golden brown like this. It is going to be dark on the bottom, but this is not burnt. You will know if it does burn, so pay close attention to it. You don't need to have any oil on your pan as long as it's nonstick. If you do not have a nonstick pan, you're going to want to use some parchment paper. I would suggest using the nonstick pan though. If you don't have a nonstick option, parchment paper works just fine. Till next time, thanks for watching. I'm James. Take care.